There is a spreadsheet you are not allowed to see. It sits on a laptop in an HR office, on a floor of the building you probably do not have access to. On that spreadsheet, your name is in a row, and next to your name, there is a number. That number is what it would cost the company to fire you legally. Severance, legal review, unemployment exposure, risk of an EEOC complaint, the cost of replacing you, the cost of training someone new, the cost of losing every relationship you built and every system you understood. For a mid-level employee, that number is usually somewhere between 6 and 12 months of your salary. For a senior employee, it can hit a full year and a half. Now, next to that number, there is a second column. The second column is what it costs them if you resign. That number is 0. And the entire job of HR, every meeting, every script, every awkward pause, every P-up, is to move you from column 1 to column 2. This is not a story about performance. This is not a story about culture. This is a story about a balance sheet. And once you understand the math, you will never read another performance review the same way again. Most people think getting fired is a moment, a meeting, a box, an escort to the lobby. It is not a moment. It is a line item. When a company terminates an employee, there is a cost stack that activates the moment that decision is made. Severance. For mid-level professionals, this is typically 2 to 6 months of salary, sometimes more depending on tenure and contract. Legal review. Every termination of any consequence gets reviewed by employment counsel. That is billable hours, real money. Unemployment insurance exposure. Every fired employee who claims unemployment increases the company's experience rating, which raises their premiums for years. Risk of a discrimination complaint. The numbers here are scary. The average cost of defending an EEOC complaint, even one the company eventually wins, runs between $75,000 and $150,000. Replacement cost. The Society for Human Resource Management estimates that replacing a salaried employee costs between 6 and 9 months of that employee's salary in recruitment, onboarding, and lost productivity. Knowledge loss. The relationships you built, the systems you understood, the shortcuts only you knew. None of that is on a hard drive. All of it walks out with you. Add it all up, and a single fired mid-level employee can cost a company between $50,000 and $200,000 depending on role and jurisdiction. A resignation cost them 0. No severance, no legal exposure, no unemployment claim, because resignations almost never qualify, no paper trail to defend. You did it to yourself. That is what the resignation letter says, in legal terms. You chose to leave. So when HR is sitting in a room talking about you, they are not asking how to fire you. They are asking how to get you to fire yourself. Oh, there's a document with a soft name and a sharp purpose. The Mutual Separation Agreement. Sometimes called a separation and release agreement. Sometimes called a transition agreement. Always given a friendly title. Here is what it actually is. It is a transaction. The company gives you a sum of money. In exchange, you give the company 3 things. First, a release. You waive your right to sue the company for any claim arising from your employment. Discrimination, harassment, wage disputes, retaliation, all of it. Released. Second, a confidentiality clause. You agree not to disclose the existence or terms of the agreement. You cannot tell future employers. You often cannot tell your colleagues. Third, a non-disparagement clause. You agree to never speak negatively about the company, its leadership, its products, or its culture in any forum, public or private, verbal or written, forever. This is the trade. They pay you a number that looks generous on the surface. In exchange, you become a person who legally cannot tell the truth about what happened. And here's the part that should make you sit up. Companies offer mutual separation agreements far more often than you think, but they only offer them when the math demands it. If they think you might sue, they offer one. If they think you have witnessed something legally exposing, they offer one. If you are senior enough that your departure would create gossip or signal weakness, they offer one. If they have built a sloppy paper trail and a court would see through it, they offer one. The mutual separation agreement is not a kindness act. It is a payment for your silence and a purchase of your future inability to tell the truth. And the entire game from HR's perspective is to avoid having to offer one, because every mutual separation agreement they sign is a number on the balance sheet. A resignation is 0. This is where the system gets clinical. If HR's job is to move you from column 1 to column 2, then they need a process to get you there. That process has stages out. Stage 1, the roles shift. Your responsibilities start to change in ways that do not match your job description. You get pulled off the work that made you valuable. You get assigned work that is below your level or outside your skill set. You are not told why. Stage 2, the visibility cut. You stop being invited to meetings you used to be in. You are no longer copied on emails you used to be on. Your projects start getting reassigned. Your name disappears from the slide decks. Stage 3, the KPI trap. This is the most important one. You are given new performance goals. They look formal, they look measurable, they look fair. They are not. The goals are calibrated to be just barely unattainable, not so impossible that you can immediately call them out as a setup, just impossible enough that no matter how hard you work, you will end the quarter at 70 or 80%. That 70 or 80% is the paper trail. Stage 4, the performance improvement plan. Now they have justification. Your numbers were below target. They are going to help you improve. They put you on a 30, 60, or 90-day plan with new goals that are even less attainable than the first set. They are not trying to improve your performance. No, they are building a documented record that supports a for-cause termination, which dramatically reduces severance obligations. Or they are hoping that the stress, humiliation, and visible doom of the PIP will simply push you to quit before they have to write the final memo. Stage 5, the cold treatment. Your manager stops giving you feedback. Meetings get canceled. One-on-ones become 5 minutes of small talk. You feel invisible because you are being made invisible. The intent is psychological exhaustion. They are waiting for the moment you snap. The moment you say enough is enough. The moment you walk into the office, slam the laptop down, and write the resignation email at midnight in a fit of exhausted rage. That moment is what the entire system is designed to produce, because that moment cost them 0. Here's the trap inside the trap. Most people, once they recognize the pattern, react in exactly the way the system is designed to make them react. They quit. They quit with dignity. They quit with a long, thoughtful email. They quit on principle. They quit because they finally see what is happening, and they refuse to participate in the humiliation any longer. And the moment they hit send on that resignation email, they hand the company the exact outcome HR was paid to engineer. A free exit, no severance, no release agreement, no legal exposure, no financial cost, just a clean line in a spreadsheet that says employee resigned voluntarily. The company does not feel guilt. The company feels relief. And the line manager who orchestrated the whole pipeline gets to write a note that says the employee made the decision themselves, and we wish them well. You walk the plank they built, and you thank them for the wood. This is the most expensive emotional decision most professionals ever make, because the difference between resigning in righteous anger and being managed out under a mutual separation agreement can easily be $50,000, sometimes more. $50,000 is not abstract. It is 6 months of runway. It is the down payment on the next thing. It is the cushion that lets you take the right job instead of the first job. And you gave it away because you did not want to give them the satisfaction. They were never going to feel satisfaction, Daddy. They were going to feel a balanced spreadsheet. Once you understand the math, the strategy becomes obvious. You do not resign, you make them pace. That is the entire frame, though, and everything else is tactics. Tactic 1, document everything in writing. Every change responsibility, every canceled meeting, every reassigned project, every unattainable KPI, every conversation that contradicts something said earlier. Send confirmation emails after every verbal conversation that matters. Put it in writing. Keep copies somewhere outside the company system. You are not being paranoid. You are doing what HR is doing, building a file. Tactic 2, stay polite and stay in the chair. The system needs you to give them an emotional reaction. Refusing to provide one is a strategic act. Show up. Do the work. Hit what you can hit. Document what you cannot hit and why. Be unfailingly professional in every email and every meeting. Boring is a weapon. Steady is a weapon. Calm is a weapon. Every day you stay in the chair without making a documented mistake is a day the cost of removing you compounds. Tactic 3, make the math obvious. Once you have a documented file showing that you were set up, change goals, remove support, reassign projects, contradictory feedback. You are no longer an employee that can be cheaply removed. You are now a legal exposure. When that exposure is visible, the conversation changes and the mutual separation agreement appears. It will be presented as a generous offer. It is not. It is the cost of removing you, calculated against the risk of you being able to credibly demonstrate what happened. Tactic 4, negotiate the agreement. The first offer is never the final offer. Severance is negotiable. Length of payment is negotiable. The reference language is negotiable. The non-compete enforcement is often negotiable. The release language has carve-outs that can be discussed. If you sign the first thing they put in front of you, you are leaving money and protection on the table. Have an employment lawyer review it. The cost is usually a few $100s to a couple of $1,000. The return is often tens of thousands. Tactic 5, leave on their dime, not yours. The goal is not to win an argument. The goal is to extract maximum value from a situation that was designed to extract maximum value from you. You are not staying out of pride. You are staying out of strategy. Every week you remain employed is a week the leverage tilts further toward you. Here's the truth nobody at your company is going to tell you. The corporate world runs on a hidden scoreboard. On that scoreboard, your dignity has a price. Your silence has a price. Your willingness to walk away in righteous anger has a price. And the entire performance management system, the PIPs, the cold meetings, or the impossible KPIs, the slow erasure, is a machine designed to get you to give all of those things away for free. The most expensive thing you can do in a corporate exit is feel something. The most valuable thing you can do is feel nothing, document everything, and wait. You did not fail. You were not chosen for improvement. You were costed. And once you understand that, the entire game looks different. Stay in the chair. Make them pay you to leave. That is the only honest negotiation that has ever existed between an employee and an employer. If this resonated with you, if you have ever resigned in a moment of exhausted anger and later wondered what it cost you, leave a comment below and tell me what happened. I read everyone. Your story might be the next video.